Yeah, maybe for our reference, if you could just briefly introduce yourself to the audience, just who you are and where you're from.
Yeah, I'm Krista Kampus. I'm coming from the city of Tallinn, and I'm working at the city of Tallinn Strategic Management Office. My normal or ordinary work is head of the EU and international relations, but this year I'm also executive director for Tallinn European Green Capital 2023.
Krista hat eben einer wahnsinnig interessanten Session hier teilgenommen, wo es um Leadership ging, neue Art von Leadership, und war wirklich Teil eines fantastischen Panels. Die Vibes gingen richtig rüber, man hat emotional mit angedockt. We just had this amazing session where the human factor in all of this, especially in facing up to emergencies, spreading responsibility for leadership, you just made some fantastic remarks. Could you just, in 2 or 3 lines, summarize what to you are the key points of integrating humanities back into this whole issue of climate change and getting cities prepared for what is to come?
Number one principle for me is that the world is something we do, and we can do it completely differently. So, and all of us, we have to think about, what we can do differently in order to really initiate and implement this positive change. The problem is that we are really now living in times of constant crisis and emergencies. We have a war in Ukraine, hopefully it will end soon. We had COVID, we have constant and increasing climate crisis. And in this situation, I don't think we can kind of lead our cities and also lead the people as business as usual. We cannot work anymore based on Excel tables and very concrete targets and very concrete action plan and then very concrete outcomes, because we do not know if we succeed or not. We don't know. The unpredictability is so big that we have to be extremely flexible. We have to be able to change our actions if necessary, and we also have to engage people completely differently. This kind of top-down management and leadership doesn't work anymore. I mean, we need much more kind of linear leadership and collaboration and partnership. And here I think it is very important that's what I said also at that session, that we have to encourage people to step up, to be brave and to be the leader, because in order to make that this change that we need. But in order to do it, we have to create the room, safe room and space for the people, so that if you are failing or if you are making mistakes, it is okay. Because we do not know what is the right thing to do exactly. We know what we have to do, but how we are doing it, we don't know. So in that sense, it is very important that people are feeling safe, they feel courageous enough, and they know that they will not be punished, but because it is journey for all of us.
We're here in Germany, and Germany is known to be a very structured, very hierarchical, sort of top-down country, and a lot of people here find it difficult to even imagine change in a different world. How would you suggest we tackle these firmly entrenched mechanisms? What will be the first step to break down these walls, these resisting old structures? For example, tomorrow we're having a session here, and we have public utilities managers who we are trying to encourage to really engage in the energy transformation section. And there's a lot of old thinking still present.
Yeah.
How do we crack those tough nuts?
I see this as well in my country a lot, unfortunately, as well. Number one, I think, is that we have to create a good and constructive culture of dialogue and co-creation with the people. And I also think that when it comes to providing public services to the people, this old way or classical way, how to see it is that, we are kind of elaborating and planning this service, and then we are starting to provide. Instead of seeing actually the citizens not as kind of final end receiver of the service, but we have to see them as co-creator of this service. So we have to engage them when we are starting to plan maybe new services or some public, let's say, activities. So 4P, I call it, public-private people partnership. We are used to this 3P, public-private partnership, but I think this people element is very important, and that is, I think, should be starting point that we see people not as service consumers, as consumers, but as co-creators of the services. I think that is the first step. The second one is, I think, this really engagement and dialogue. For example, in Tallinn, what we did when it comes to improving city biodiversity and urban nature, we actually invited all the people. We have big bog actually, almost in the city center, and we have to restore its hydrological, let's say, conditions. And we knew that we are not able to do it alone, and it is also that we cannot use big machines there. It is bog, it is nature protected areas. So we actually invited people to join with and help us to do it together. So I think that this kind of collaboration and partnership is also secondly a very important topic. And then in Tallinn, what we are also doing during the Green Capital year, but we will continue with that also years to come, is that we are we call them Green Capital ambassadors. So they are actually people who are coming from very different, let's say, sectors, and they are having very different backgrounds. We have singers and social media influencers and actors, but we have also business owners, we have restaurant owners, we have environmental activists, we have biologists. So, and this is actually also the group of the people who can help you. And from two perspectives, they can actually help you with their expertise and knowledge, but they can also help you to get your messages out. And I think this is very important also element when it comes to kind of building the trust with your people and engaging different stakeholders.
There are some fantastic processes and ideas that need to be picked up. If you had to, in like 10 seconds, make 3 recommendations to people, say, as in like be whatever, what would be your top 3 be something? Into the camera if you like, to really face it as a statement.
Be vulnerable. And vulnerability for me means that you are there even if you know that you cannot control the outcome and the situation. This is, I think, for me, the most important element of being good leader, taking responsibility. Then be humble. And humbleness means that in public sector, we are not the most smartest people, around the table. We don't have the all expertise we need in this changing world. So humbleness means that you are listening to those who know more, who have this knowledge and who have this expertise. And number 3 is be positive. Be positive and be passionate about what you are doing, because without passion, nothing happens.
Thank you so much for your time. Much appreciated. And thanks for your participation here in the panel. That was tremendous. For me, the best session so far.
Oh, that's
Thank you so
great.
much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.